have been discombobulated. Rhetoric out there is crazy, man. Don't believe nothing. It's just a mess. Everything's a cover story for everything else. Yeah, I took a few days off the internet there over the weekend and logging on this morning to catch up to speed on everything, and had like a pilot rescue in Iran, and the official narrative is pretty badass. I'll give them that. Flying in the C-130s and the helicopters and finding the pilot, creating like a kill box around the guy so no Iranians could get close, and then C-130 got stuck, so they flew in more planes to get all the spec ops out of there, and then they blew up the C-130 and the helicopters they had to leave behind, and no casualties. I don't know, man. Wild, if true. Parts of it are probably true, but, you know. Could be a story for something deeper. Dude, and Trump's rhetoric's getting wild. And people are taking it at face value. Have they not learned by now? You cannot take anything, especially what Trump says, at face value. At least 90% of the time, maybe 85% of the time. It's rhetoric, especially in times of war, battle, contention. Rhetoric, propaganda will be at all-time highs, so you just cannot knee-jerk react to anything. But I will say, I do enjoy the shithousery going on. Everybody's just so many people, not everybody, but so many people they don't know what to think, and it's a mess. And by design, it is like that by design. So you just got to ride the wave. See what is said, see what is claimed, what is reported. Not what is happening, because we don't know exactly what's happening. We just see what's said in the media and said online. And said in front of the cameras and on the microphones. And that just, you got to detach, man. Word of the day. Detach. A lot of people still have a tough time with that one. All right. Let me say hi to you guys. It's been a few days. And then I do a disservice to those that put their lives on the line. No, not necessarily. Not at all. I'm saying, if true, whatever actual courageous acts were done, by all means, badass. More power to them. But, dude, if you're not questioning things in this world, have you not learned by now? Especially when it comes to special operations. I mean, sorry. Get mad at me if you want, but I'm going to wonder if there's deeper shit going on. Are you not? Are you not? Lies, no one in space. I feel like it's like you're the odd man out in conspiracy theory alternative media world if you actually believe that humans went into space. Oh no, burn me at the stake. God forbid I actually believe NASA astronauts have gone into space before. That doesn't mean I, again, take everything NASA says at face value, but I don't know. Sue me, bro. Sorry, I do not think the Earth is flat. Apologies. Trump saying praise be to Allah was not on my 2026 bingo card. Yeah, I saw a few folks get upset over that one too. And have they not learned about the troller-in-chief by now? He was being facetious in that post. So, it is what it is. Cool. All right. A couple of things, and then we'll start deciphering, I don't know, what the heck's going on, if we can. It's honestly partly a moot point trying to analyze, decipher, decode anything, because in some ways you're not going to know. Like, you just can't. No matter how many decodes you do, no matter how much analyzing you do, you're not going to know. You can have a guess. It's kind of one thing getting to me these days is that the fog of war is so thick. It's such a mess that we can't know. We can chat about it. We can come to an educated guess, but don't even assume you know the truth, right? Did I catch the pink moon? I saw full moon. It was normal moon colors. King Charles did not give an Easter message this year. Explain to me how that is notable. I'm genuinely curious. Does he normally? And this year he didn't? Guy. Yeah.
Based.
I was a conspiracy theorist 20 years ago, and everyone thought I was crazy. Now all the conspiracy theorists think I'm a normie for believing space is real and Trump's all right. Yeah. Comment of the day. 5 minutes into the show. 100%, dude. 100%. Like, oh, man. Space is real and Trump's all right. You're a normie. You are excommunicated and ostracized from our truth-seeking tribe because how dare you think differently than flat earthers, I guess. I don't know. Normal times, it's almost impossible to discern. Can we agree to just ignore everything at this time and even the truth is controlled and changed? The truth's not controlled, but it's your perception or what they want your perception to be that is controlled. The truth is what it is. You bend to its will or you live a lie. It's one of my favorite quotes. I actually posted that quote on Instagram this morning, but I forget who it's by. Miyamoto Musashi, Japanese samurai, philosopher. I don't exactly know who Miyamoto Musashi is, but I know he's Japanese. And that's one of my favorite quotes. Truth is not what you want it to be. It is what it is, and you must bend to its will or live a lie. But then you have to come to the understanding of we are humans with perspectives and perceptions and viewpoints, and we don't know everything. So that capital T absolute truth, sometimes, a lot of the time, you don't know. And you just have to do your best to gather what it may be. But yeah, good philosophy conversation. I like it. I dig it. Shout out to my friends at Oneness Drops. They're having a buy one, get one free sale for the rest of April. All this month, chlorine dioxide kits. If you need some ClO2 to make yourself some high-quality H2O. Chlorine dioxide kits, all kinds, in all packaging. They also have a few other products. Sour sop extract. A fruit that is really good for your DNA, for cell regeneration. Mullein is an herb that is amazing for decongesting lungs, helping support lung detoxification, healthy lungs. They got DMSO and HCl for digestive support. They even got mullein cigarettes now. Pretty rad, actually. I kind of want to try those. But yeah, everything is BOGO. Buy one, get one free. Code BOGOJORDAN. Link in the description. You need that code BOGO and boom, if I can spell my own name. And then comment asked, what's going on with the orders? Are you good to go on my site? Would you rather we wait until I'm back from GART? So I just screw Shopify. I just want to say that. Canadian company, so commies. To be expected, I guess. My mistake for trying it. But I just switched it back to the old site, and everything is good to go on consciousstrength.net. Unfortunately, I couldn't migrate subscriptions, so if you had a product subscription, you'll have to resubscribe, but cards accepted now. Everything is good to go. I just went back to the old website. You don't have to wait till I'm back from GART, but I'm leaving Wednesday, so if you want your order to ship out tomorrow, you got to place it by like early afternoon tomorrow. Otherwise, it'll have to wait till Monday next week, but yeah, go for it. Cool. Let's get down to business. I'll hit some of your some more of your questions in a moment, but for what it's worth, I'm not the only podcaster you've heard having issues with Shopify recently. Yeah, I gave it a shot. Bummer. Ordered the other day and it wouldn't let you add more than one item to your cart at a time to subscribe. Unfortunately, this website's kind of basic, so you can only, if you're going to subscribe to anything, you can only have one subscription, one product in your checkout, which is why I wanted to migrate to something like Shopify because it had more functions, but Shopify is asshole, so yeah, eventually I might think about a WordPress site. That just requires more technical expertise that I don't have, but I make do with what I can right now. So it's simple, but it works. All right, Trump's post over the weekend that I didn't see till this morning, but I guess it got some panties jumbled, panties ruffled yesterday in a bunch. Trump said Tuesday will be power plant day and bridge day, all wrapped into one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking strait. I didn't see him drop the F-bomb in there. Dropping the F-bombs at the B-2s. You crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. Posting this on Easter too. Yo. Oh my God.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
I mean, you can choose two paths here. You can get triggered or you can just detach and laugh. Praise be to Allah. Saying that on Easter too. Yeah. Wild. And then during the press conference today, talking about the rescue of the pilots, he said some more heated rhetoric.
Are you not entertained? This is a critical period. They have a period of, well, till tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I gave them an extension. They asked for an extension of 7 days, right? I said, Steve, give them 10 days. 10 days is up actually today, so I gave them 11, I guess, indirectly. I thought it was inappropriate the day after Easter. I want to be a nice person. They have till tomorrow. Now, we'll see what happens. I can tell you they're negotiating, we think, in good faith. We're going to find out. We're getting the help of some incredible countries that want this to be ended because it affects them also. A lot of people.
I don't know. You better be careful. Seems like every time the U.S. is trying to negotiate with an Iranian, Israeli media leaks the name of the dude and tries to put a target on his back.
People are affected by this, but we're giving them till tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time, and after that, they're going to have no bridges, they're going to have no power plants. Stone.
The rhetoric. I mean, blowing up all the bridges and the power plants in what sounds like a legitimate war crime. Would he really do that? Would the U.S. military really go that far? I don't know, man. We'll see tomorrow, I guess. But this is what gets me. So Trump makes his war rhetoric, right? Which is understandable during times of contention and conflict. Okay. Art of war. But whenever Trump raises the ante, the Iranian embassy or the Iranian foreign minister, or some Iranian source just like trolls him, and then they troll each other, and it just goes back and forth. X account of the Iranian embassy requests that Trump change his Tuesday deadline. 8 p.m. is not that good. Could you change it to between 1 and 2 p.m. or, if possible, 1 and 2 a.m.?
What?
I can't really tell what the hell is going on. And by design. It's just kind of wild.
Yesterday in your Truth Social, you called the Iranians crazy bastards.
True.
What is your response to critics who say that
I don't care about critics.
What is your response to critics who say
I should have turned that into a button today.
bastards?
True.
What is your response to
Iranians
critics
crazy
who
bastards.
say that
I don't care about critics.
What is your response to critics who say that it is your mental health that should perhaps be examined as this war
Well,
continues?
I haven't heard that. But if that's the case, you're going to have more people like me, because our country was being ripped off on trade, on everything, for many years until I came along. So if that's the case, you're going to have more people.
Yesterday.
True.
The entire country could be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow night.
Some people are thinking or assuming that Trump's going to be using nuclear weapons tomorrow. The whole country is going to be taken out in one night. That means Trump's going to use nukes. I saw someone in the YouTube chat said central casting. I did indeed see Trump's references to central casting when doing the press conference with his CIA director and Joint Chiefs of Staff today. Comment says, all the world's a stage and we are merely players. Indeed. Again, what is real and what is not? One of the most difficult questions to answer at the moment. And then, as for what is not real, what is just narrative, it becomes an even more difficult task to assess, well, who is running the show? And then what is their agenda? Tough indeed. But didn't you know the Iranian people, they want us to keep bombing. They want it.
Why would they want you to blow up their infrastructure, to cut off their power? Wouldn't that be punishing Iranians for the actions of the regime?
They would be willing to, and it's suffering. They would be willing to suffer that in order to have freedom. The Iranians have, and we've had numerous intercepts. Please keep bombing. Bombs that are dropping near their homes. Please keep bombing. Do it. And these are people that are living where the bombs are exploding. And when we leave and we're not hitting those areas.
I will say, sometimes I don't believe Trump. Sometimes I do not believe him. That does not mean that I don't like him as president. That does not mean that I'm not like praying for him and rooting him on. But yeah, sometimes I do not believe him. And I don't get upset about it. I just chuckle. That one's a bit much. Okay. I just can't not laugh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Trump is refusing to extend Iran's deadline. I mean, I've got like 10 videos of this. Of him just going on with the rhetoric the past couple of days. And it's wild, man. Watch this. I'll probably be wrong, but watch this get to like apex, almost nuclear war. Everybody thinks that Iran's going to be decimated, whatever. Everybody's freaking out. And then all of a sudden, at the final hour, at the final minute, peace deal, ceasefire. Just done. Out. Iran left to rebuild. Hormuz Strait opened. Some kind of oil deal where, you know, share the spoils, whatever the case. Just, yes, Trump can definitely be a little over the top at times. And, again, you can't get triggered by it. You just kind of have to detach and laugh. Laugh at it. But yeah, watch this just like peace deal. Tuesday night at 7:59 p.m. Eastern. Probably not, you know. Our expectations are 99% wrong most of the time, but we just don't know, so you can't assume that whatever is going to happen. All right, I want to get to the theories as to what went on with the pilot. Yeah, I agree with that comment, Cindy. I love Trump too, but this is hard. A little bit. I mean, again, that's why detach is the word of the day here. It's hard if you are invested. And on one hand, we should be invested, but on the other hand, we need to learn to just take a step back, go touch some grass, I don't know, grow some plants, do some laundry or something. Just let it play out. There's not much we're going to be able to do to change geopolitical matters. At least from our, you know, living room couches, but just relax. Pilot rescue. U.S. forces carry out a high-risk mission to recover the pilot and weapons system officer of an F-15 that crashed there in Iran. The first crewed American warplane shot down over Iran in more than 5 weeks combat. So yeah, you had the F-15 shot down. You have a pilot and then the weapons guy in the back. So two people in the F-15. This photo is of the pilot rescue. From my understanding of the official narrative, the pilot was rescued pretty quick, within a few hours, like same day. In this shot of the two Black Hawks being refueled by the C-130 is of the pilot rescue. And then you had the WISO, weapons system officer, eject, bail out, hit the ground, ended up climbing up a mountain, activating his beacon, and then I think it was, 48 hours? About 2 days, where it took the U.S. military and special operations time to fly in, set up a contingency airfield at some deserted farm in Iran. So technically, first time boots were on the ground in Iran that we know of. And then they found the guy, exfilled everybody. It's a wild story. I'm sure they're going to make a movie out of it someday. It's got to be a movie. Starring Tom Cruise. But no casualties. So that's the good news. Even though they blew up a couple planes and helicopters, no casualties. What was going on while we were distracted by that? That is the question. Well, this is at least what's being admitted to the public, or told to the public. Exclusive. While the airman rescue was going on, CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper directed a strike on an IRGC headquarters in an underground facility near Tehran. It was done with B-2 bombers using MOPS, massive ordnance penetrators, the same weapon used in Midnight Hammer. Those are those big-ass bunker buster bombs. Okay, so while Iran was distracted with the pilot, they bombed some bad guys in Tehran. Okay, but there may have, this is just theorizing by analysts, but could it be such that either the pilot rescue, whether it was, could it have been used as a cover story for special operations to take out some enriched uranium in Iran? This just talks a little bit about the story. There's some real oddities about this story, as per this Zero Hedge article, authored by a former CIA officer. So take that for what it's worth. But real oddities with the story. The weapons system officer is normally a fairly low-ranking officer, lieutenant or a captain. They were saying that this weapons system officer that was rescued in Iran was a colonel. And I'm no military expert. I've Wikipedia'd a few things, but excuse my retardation. Is it quite uncommon for a Wizzo to be a colonel? Seems fairly high-ranking. Kind of weird. They say he was the vice wing commander at an airbase in Jordan. This helps explain the large number of assets devoted to finding and rescuing him. Some 200 special operations guys. So if it was legitimately a colonel, that could explain why they sent in so many assets. A variety of press reports claim he suffered a broken leg. Well, if he did, how did he climb that mountain? Maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't have an injury and press reports were just wrong. Now here's the kicker. The geolocated wreckage of the C-130s they blew up, which were apparently using a local agricultural strip, just happens to be right over a mountain about 20 miles away from Isfahan's nuclear facility, where Iran's near-weapons-grade enriched uranium is alleged to be stored. Was this whole affair a botched raid by U.S. Special Operations Forces to seize Iranian uranium for the Isfahan facility? Interesting. Could it have been a botched raid? Could it have been just like a legitimate downing of the pilots and they had to legitimately conduct a search and rescue operation? Because from the looks of it, there was a legitimate search and rescue op going on. But conveniently, let's just go in and send 100 SEAL Team 6 and Delta guys in there to take the uranium while we're at it. I don't know. Obviously, we don't know, but even some ex-intelligence analysts are assessing this like, what the hell is really going on? This F-15 just happened to go down only 20 miles away from Iran's supposed enriched uranium site. It's just the location's quite coincidental. Here's a Twitter post kind of talking about this. As I wrote yesterday, the Americans were trying to create a FARP, Forward Arming and Refueling Point. That's their like contingency airstrip, emergency airstrip, near that mountain, which happens to be 25 kilometers south of Iran's nuclear facility. Almost half of Iran's uranium, enriched to about 60%, was stored in a tunnel complex at Isfahan and is probably still there, says UN nuclear watchdog just a month ago. This post suggests that, this post theorizes that the military wanted to do a uranium extraction operation over the weekend so they could declare the victory by Easter. Although this post suggests that it was botched. They're wondering why there were so many aircraft. 2 C-130s, 4 Little Bird helicopters, 4 Blackhawks, 2 Reaper drones. This poster suggests the generals who were fired in the Pentagon were probably the ones who did not agree to this plan and termed it extremely risky operation. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe the plan was not botched, and that's just what they want us to think. And there was some enriched uranium that was swooped up, but yeah, I don't know, man. Just reading some things to you. This is the exact same plot used in Where Eagles Dare. A lot of movie plots playing out, right? Freaking Top Gun Maverick. Bombing a underground nuclear facility in a country that looks very much like Iran. F-14s on the ground and everything. Top Gun Maverick playing out. Speaking of actors, movies, and central casting. Maybe the generals fired were deep state traitors, or who knows? Yeah, maybe. Could very well have been. I didn't look into them. So, why are we still using antiquated fighters when we have F-22s and F-35s? So, F-15s, the new EXs, the new ones they have, aren't antiquated. And it's just different tools for different jobs. So, F-22 is an air-to-air fighter. Stealthy. And it's more for dogfighting and air-to-air combat. F-35 is kind of a do-it-all. Stealthy, but, can be used by various branches of military, and that's a fighter that they wanted to export as well. So it's just kind of general purpose. The F-15 is like the bomb truck. It's freaking fast. It can carry a lot of firepower, a lot of bombs and missiles. It's not stealthy, but it's fast and stout, so they're just different, right? Once you have air superiority, then you can bring in the F-15s that can load up with stuff. It's just that what's likely happening in Iran over the past few weeks is that, as the two sides have been learning tactics and procedures, then they can adapt new tactics and procedures to combat the enemy. So the U.S. is figuring out how Iran operates. Iran's figuring out how the U.S. operates. And hence the fighter being hit. Granted, if you compare this operation to Iraq, either of the Iraqs, or I think the first few weeks of the Iraq war, like 40 planes were taken down, like 20 or 40. So realistically, comparatively, the U.S. military is actually kind of kicking ass right now. But yeah, still, just get the shit done. Get it done. Get out of there. On to the next current thing. Matrix Tech by Lockheed. Autonomous very soon. Yeah. for sure. The F-15, the new F-15s just have bigger screens. Like all your cars. All right, central casting. Dasting comments, I'll give you that.
Amazing, and I think I'm going to introduce the head of the CIA, and he is a man who, he's central casting, okay? If we cast a movie, he's going to play the head of the CIA. He's one of the few. John Ratcliffe, he, What?
I want to look at, hold on, I want to play that again because I want to look at his facial expression.
Amazing, and I think I'm going to introduce the head of the CIA, and he is a man who, he's central casting, okay? If we cast a movie, he's going to play the head of the CIA. He's one of the few. John Ratcliffe, he did a phenomenal job that night. He did something that I don't know if you want to talk about it.
He wasn't taken aback by it, but it's like he put his head down so he could purposely be expressionless. Now I want to look at the generals guys. I want to look at their facial expressions.
Central casting, okay? If we cast a movie, he's going to play the head of the CIA. He's one of the few. John Ratcliffe, he did a
okay, they got the shit-eating grins.
He did something that
Hegseth and Kane, they got their shit-eating grins on. But you know, Ratcliffe, intelligence community guy, he's got a bit more of a experience with the stone cold face. Man, it's all so crazy. That it is. It is all so crazy, isn't it? But he did it again. Call General Dan Kane central casting.
because you're going into hundreds of thousands of soldiers along the path. I mean, look at some of the helicopters, how they got hit. So, yeah, there were people within the military that said it's a wise. And don't forget, how many men did you send altogether, approximately, for the operation?
I'd love to keep that a secret.
Okay, well, we but I will tell you, the number, I'll keep it a secret, but it was hundreds. And hundreds of these people, that's pretty good. Is he central casting? But hundreds of people went into this journey. Hundreds of people could have been killed. Forget about the equipment, a lot of equipment, nobody cares.
In popular usage, a person may be said to be straight out of central casting if their demeanor is felt to be stereotypical in nature, typically for their vocation or other attributes. They're just stereotypical, aren't they? Straight out of central casting. Now look, some internet people would take these comments and just take them way too far and think, oh my God, everything's fake. It's a movie. It's a show put on by the white hats or whatever the case. I think they take the idea of enjoying the show or it's a movie. I think they take it way too far. But there is something to be said about a lot of what we're seeing right now. At the public surface is narrative warfare. Then you ask yourself, what the hell is really going on behind the scenes? And who's puppet stringing it? And what's their agenda? So, central casting quotes, man. Bob Lazar movie free on BitChute. Yeah, there's a lot of free movies on BitChute. $28 to 32 U.S. aircraft were lost in the Gulf War. I almost had it right. I said, what, 20 to 40? That's right in the middle. Just average out my guess, and I was right. But yeah. That's comparatively more. I think most of the aircraft we've lost so far, we blew up. Let's get to space. Sorry, I don't think space is fake. I don't know if humans understand as much about space as they think they do. I would argue not. I would argue that mainstream establishment science is largely wrong. False assumptions. But I don't think space is fake. Sorry. Artemis 2, with its 4 astronauts on board, have now traveled further from Earth than any other humans in history. Should be an A. Than. Publicly. That we know of. Have publicly traveled further than any other humans in history. Ah, gosh, I just keep seeing this repeated and it kills me every time. Like, you don't know that. This is what they tell us, dude. Just what they tell us. As far the farthest humans have gone. Eat it up. Eat up the mainstream narratives. No, I really do think they're going around the moon, though. But I'm not going to say I believe, but I'll say I think it is possible that in private or classified programs, humans have gone farther than the moon. Sure. NASA's Artemis crew successfully completed their historic flyby. Successfully slingshotting. Astronauts have reestablished contact. Yeah, I'm sorry. When it's a rocket, I'm just not impressed. It's cool, don't get me wrong, and I'm glad it's mind-blowing to some people out there, to like the normies. It's cool. It's getting them their minds wondering and all that jazz. But to me personally, I don't know. I don't find it all that fascinating, quite frankly. Just we need the flying saucers, man. We need the anti-gravity tech. Then I'll be impressed. But we're not going to get very far in space with rockets, I'm sorry. It is futile to attempt to become interplanetary with brute force. How did they get through the Van Allen radiation belts? Probably a polymer coated on the craft that can shield it from radiation. And the Van Allen belts, they wax and wane. They're not completely like thick and deadly. And you can put different kinds of polymers painted on to protect it from radiation. It's just kind of a common misconception that you can't get through the Van Allen radiation belts. Rockets can't propel through a vacuum. Well, that's another kind of misnomer. It's not really a vacuum up there. It's far less pressure, but it's not necessarily a vacuum. And what makes you assume that anyway, that rockets couldn't propel through a vacuum? Let's get on to the UFOs. What we really should be exploring space in: levitating discs. Representative Tim Burchett just shocked the world with his revelations about unidentified flying objects and the real chilling effects. Very fear-based. But this is going to be a lot of people's reaction to anything. A lot of people's reaction will be fear. It's chilling. It's the real chilling effect. I just want to know what we're spending tens of millions of your hard-earned tax dollars. When a bureaucrat tells me the president is on a need-to-know basis, we got to get answers. Tens of millions? That's it? More than that. That's rookie numbers. Way more than tens of millions. Rockets have flames. Duh. Flames take oxygen to burn. Yes, I saw somebody like, oh, how do rockets combust in space? There's no oxygen. They take liquid oxygen with them. They got big tanks. It's like, there's usually an explanation for people to... I just jump to conclusions about things. Like J.D. Vance, all aliens are demons. Yeah, that's another one too. That one is almost, in my opinion, as silly as Flat Earth is the all aliens are demons stuff. Some aliens are demons. Some. Okay? Not all. Yes, Matt farms for fun. All aliens aren't a fake alien invasion. Maybe a couple of them. I want to see what Burchett says here, though.
So, Congressman, we did this story last week here on the Will Cain Show. It is an issue that you have spoken out about. It was written about in the Daily Mail, and it was really a fascinating story. It's 8 missing or dead scientists, many of them, I think most of them, with just in the last couple of months. Some of these stories do go back about 2 years, but they work at a handful of highly classified, high-access areas like NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratories or Los Alamos in New Mexico. And they are missing, or they are largely, Nuno Loureiro is a solved murder. The others are unsolved murders. He was the Brown shooter up in the Northeast. What's going on, as far as you understand right now with this story?
So the best I can tell is that not all of these scientists were connected. I think a couple, like a select couple of these murders or disappearances are one-offs, but the couple of them might be connected, actually. Still got McCaslin missing, too. That's the wildest one. There's McCaslin there.
Jet Propulsion Laboratories or Los Alamos in New Mexico. And they are missing, or they are largely, Nuno Loureiro is a solved murder. The others are unsolved murders. He was the Brown shooter up in the Northeast. What's going on, as far as you understand right now with this story?
Well, I think it sends a chilling effect. I'll tell you, if I had a chef at a big restaurant that was giving out all of our cooking secrets, I probably wouldn't take him out because he's such high profile, but I might get after a couple of busboys and a couple of waiters. And I think there's a message being sent in all this. I think we better be really careful, and it's more than 8. You take any other profession in the world, take car salesmen. How many of those have disappeared or died mysteriously in this in this country? And there's hundreds, if not thousands of those. This is a very, very small group of people, and we better start paying attention to what's going on with this.
What's your biggest concern, Congressman? Is it foreign powers taking out some of our most qualified, and I mean, in your analogy, the busboys of the industry, but these are they have access to highly sensitive information.
They do. Again, I think.
Why foreign? Why not domestic powers? Bro, come on. Expand your questioning, expand your thinking.
I think it's sending a message, and I think the message...
It's Fox News, though. What can we expect?
just pretty clear. I've talked to some people, and this has had a real chilling effect. People don't want to talk about this issue of unidentified flying objects anymore, and it's kind of difficult to get to people because they are afraid, and probably rightfully so. So, I don't know. Everybody says Burchett, they get on about little green men and flying saucers. I just want to know what we're spending tens of millions of your hard-earned tax dollars. And when a bureaucrat tells me the president is on a need-to-know
tens of millions. Try billions. As Trump orders UFO data released, a question hangs. If aliens exist, what would they think of us? Well, they'd probably think that this lady is pretty stupid. I think it depends. Depends on the civilization and their agenda. I'm sure some of them would like to enslave us, feed on our energy, keep us retarded and controlled. I would think others probably care a little bit about what's going on here, want to help us out, want to see us succeed, want to see us get our shit together and unfuck this planet. And then you probably have your neutral types that are just observing or don't really care, or just fly by, or non-committal. Variety of agendas, right? So, I think that is a pretty logical response. Aliens roll their windows up when they fly by Earth. Yeah, probably some of them. But then you have you have others that are invested, for good or bad, for positive or negative. So, but people still get that fear response. This is New York Post article. Intelligent alien life is out there, and its technology could destroy us in a microsecond, researchers claim. Dr. Don Donderi, a retired McGill University professor, told the New York Post that ETs have the tech to wipe us out in a microsecond. Yeah. But I'm sure there's some other races out there that have the technology to friggin' save our ass in a microsecond. It's like this. It goes one of two ways. It's polarized. You've got some people, they go immediately to a fear response. Oh, they're all demons. Oh, they got the tech to wipe us out in a microsecond. It's instant fear response. You've got others that are too positive in a bad way. They're imbalanced positive. They're happy-go-lucky, naive types, in that they think, oh, I want to just interact with any kind of spirit or any kind of intelligence that's out there in the cosmos. I'm just curious. I want to go meet them. Make sure they cool before you do that. Make sure they cool. Don't be naive. Those are the weird New Agers that do like shitloads of ayahuasca and try channeling, and then become delusional and think they are emissaries for the Galactic Federation of Pleiadians or whatever. So yeah. Or those are your incredibly fundamentalist fanatical religious types too, being influenced by the demon aliens. You know, like the insane delusional grifter types. Those types of religious people who are like culty about it. Same thing. I mean, honestly, when you look at the beliefs and behaviors of some of the New Agers, it's really not that much different than the fanatical Christian types. They're really, and they hate each other, and they don't realize that they're almost mirror images of each other. It's kind of funny. And then they argue about beliefs and stuff, when really they're almost believing the same thing, just with different words. It's just a semantics issue. But anyway. I think that's all I got. I don't know. Is there anything else you guys want to chat about? Let me know. We'll bring in some music. You guys want to listen to some Pantera? Dude, I was going to town with my metal playlist this morning. I don't think I'll get hit with a copyright strike on YouTube. I'm not monetized on YouTube anyway, so I should be good. I'll change it. I'm sorry. I really do want to listen to this though, but I just gotta let the drop play. Hold on. Best part right here. Metal Mondays, that it is. You're right, Cyberspeed. I'll put on the live stream mix. Quieter. There we go. Stargate SG-1 is the best indirect disclosure show. Never watched when aired. The 10 seasons covers all conspiracy theories. 100%. I fully agree. Fully agree. You know, it's funny. I've been reading these books, kind of discussing these issues. But I was always a Star Wars head growing up. Older brother, 10 years older than me. So he grew up in the 80s, and he was super into Star Wars, which got me into Star Wars. And I was a big Star Warser. I was never really into Star Trek. I was never a Trekkie. But recently I learned that Gene Roddenberry, creator of Star Trek, was involved in some extraterrestrial channeling groups back in the 70s. Like right before he started Star Trek. And those channeling groups gave him, like he was literally like involved in it, asking supposed contact intelligences or whatever questions through the instrument, the human medium, whatever you want to call the person doing the channeling. But like Gene Roddenberry was in it a few years before he started Star Trek, and that's what gave him some ideas and inspirations for Star Trek. So I kind of want to go back and watch some, probably Deep Space Nine or The Next Generation, like the old Star Trek, because there's some disclosure. There's some interesting stuff in Star Trek too, but I think I'll just get bored of Star Trek and just want to go watch Stargate SG-1 anyway. But I kind of want to watch some Star Trek. Star Wars is actually really basic. It is really quite basic of a show. Like, ooh, good versus evil. the complexity of the storylines are not. It's really just like a run and gun space opera show. As I've grown older, I've kind of come to understand the different space franchises better. Star Trek, not as run and gunny, but more complex storylines, and there's a little more philosophy embedded into the narratives of that show. So I kind of want to watch Star Trek, but I still do think that Stargate SG-1 is the best soft disclosure show of all time, for sure. It's wild, actually. I was quite surprised when I went through. I've watched Stargate SG-1 like a lot of times, all 10 seasons. Nah, not so much the last couple of seasons. It gets kind of lame, the last couple of seasons, right? But at least seasons 1 through 7 or 8. And some of those episodes surprised me quite a bit, especially for a show airing in the late 90s. In one episode of Stargate SG-1, they visit a world where the civilization of this world, the leaders of it were evil in creating a depopulation vaccine to give to their citizens. Kind of wild. You know, when the humans in Stargate SG-1 were building their own UFO in secret in a black project, they were figuring out anti-gravity and having to put inertial dampeners on it. Then you got the whole story arc of, you know, the pyramids being built by the, what do they call them in the show? The builders, E.T. race. Yeah, dude, Stargate is awesome. I think I'm going to watch it again. I never watched the other Stargates, Atlantis, or what do you know? It was always just SG-1 for me. What's my strongest argument to debunk the flat Earth theory? Math. Geometry. Star Trek has boring pacing, too much dialogue, not enough pew-pew explosions. SG-1 is like that perfect balance of some corny jokes, some wholesome moments, and some pew-pew explosions, and then storylines that actually are interesting. What's the best argument to debunk flat Earth? Gyroscopes? Angular momentum? Any kind of navigation you can think of? The existence of inertia itself? Shit spins, bro. Everything spins. Everything rotates. And everything wobbles while it spins, while it rotates. Yeah. From the micro to the macro, smallest wee little atoms and particles spin and rotate and twist and turn and vortex and spin around some more to the planets and stars and galaxies. Yeah, and the whole flat Earth theory, it's made its resurgence in the internet age, I think, by design from the intelligence agencies and propagandists, like deep state propagandist groups. I think they're purposely pushing it to poison the well, water down any cosmology conversation in alternative media land. And it just wastes a lot of people's time. And makes them kind of retarded. It's done a good job. There's some people that get very invested into it. And it scrambles their brains. They become very 2D thinkers. And you see the shit oh my god, flat Earth, it's the biggest conspiracy theory the deep state lies to us about. Oh my god. Yeah, that's why the algorithm promotes it all over the place. And it's never been censored. What a concept. Smooth brainerd, flat brain theory. What's their strongest argument against round Earth? Ooh, usually it's the water seeks its level thing. It's the best they got. Ooh, it seeks its level. Water seeks where inertia. How's it go? What should we check out on the Twitter sphere before I head out? You guys got any links? Astrobiology Conference. Is that a .gov link? What are you sending me to? What kind of data are you trying to get from me? Astrobiology and Theology Conference from Library of Congress. Oh, it was 2014. That was 12 years ago. I probably won't watch it. Sorry. It's quite old. Maybe I'll listen. I don't know. Pentagon cancels tomorrow morning's press briefing by Pete Hegseth and Dan Kane. Ooh, it's about to hit the fan. What should I do? What should I do with Bitcoin tonight, guys? Should I short? Is everything gonna dump tomorrow? If you spin a tennis ball, the water flies outward, says Viva Flav. I think about this all the time because, sure, if you have water on the surface of a round object and spin it, the angular momentum have the water fly off. But if you are spinning that sphere and then rotating it around a central fixed point, your centripetal and centrifugal force could be would thereby be negated, right? So you could thereby essentially create your own form of gravity, inertia, if you will. I mean, it's complex. It's a complex thing to do, because how exactly are you gonna rotate something and then spin it? And then our planet kind of does the toppy thing, so there's another factor into it. So not only is it spinning as a top, but also... I know you're being facetious, bro. Gravity doesn't exist. The Earth sucks. I mean, there is some kind of force. Us humans have labeled it gravity. I do not believe humans understand gravity necessarily correctly, but there is some kind of charge, some kind of motion that keeps things stuck to planets. And this charge or this motion relates to electromagnetism in some way. Maybe we need a new name. Let's stop calling it gravity. Let's call it something else. But gravity exists, just not in the way we think about it. Just not in the way we assume. Sweet song. Any updates to Michael Matcha? No updates. I'm waiting on the Myco coffee to get here, which it will be in just a few days. And then once the Myco coffee is in, I'm going to make a serious push for getting in like the matcha and the mushroom extract. So I'm sorry it's been so long. I want the matcha in too, but give me a bit more time. I'm genuinely wanting to get it in. I got some samples from a company. Good news, I do have an update. I got some samples from a company who might be able to make it for me, and they were good samples. So I do have a source. So there's that. Also, I'm looking at bringing in creatine and a naturally flavored, naturally sweetened pre-workout, like a solid pre-workout that just has a little bit of caffeine, but not too much caffeine like most pre-workouts. So it'll be cool. Creatine powder and a pre-workout. TakeMySats.com. What is this? Yeah, I'm looking at bringing in just a basic creatine monohydrate and also a creatine electrolyte combo, like a hydration creatine drink, and the pre-workout. So there's a few things I'm looking at doing. What is this? Take my sats. Is it a wallet? Oh, you can set up a store to get paid in Bitcoin. Yeah, oh, that's pretty dope. Appreciate this, Joe. I'm gonna check this out. That is pretty cool. Yo. That's pretty rad. Noster login. I'm on Noster. I haven't posted on there in a long time. Integrated with Bitcoin postage API. That's what I'd have to figure out the shipping management. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing all the orders manually, but that is pretty freaking dope. Cool, man. Thank you, Joe. The creatine would be a powder. Doing creatine pills is kind of stupid. Taking 10 freaking horse pills at a time. Yeah, it'd just be a powder. Cool. All right, guys. Low sound background music is cool. Yeah. I like the background music. Then I don't have to feel like I need to continuously be blabbing. Alright, guys. I'll see you. I'll actually stream tomorrow because I got to leave on Wednesday. So, yeah, I probably won't be streaming on Wednesday, but maybe, depending on what time I get there, I might just do a shit stream or something. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be streaming on Tuesday. Get a couple in before I head to GART. So, appreciate you guys, and don't forget, BOGO, buy one get one free. ONENESSDrops.com, code BOGOJORDAN, link in the description. And ConsciousStrength.net. Back to the old site. All good to go. And I will see you guys tomorrow.